I'd like to call to order the Warwick Township Board of Supervisors meeting for July 21st, 2005. Stand with me and take pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, and indivisible, which each justice for all. Board met executive session. Talk about real estate personnel. Approval of the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes from the Monday, June 16th, 2025 Board of Supervisors meeting.
I'll second. All in favor? Announcements top.
Thank you. The Summer Movies in the Park series will continue on July 23rd with Dogman. All movies are held in the Warwick Community Park, which is the park located here at dusk behind the large pavilion. An electronic waste recycling event will be held on Saturday, August 16th at Guinea Lane Park. For more information, please visit warwickrec.com and you can get a list of the items that they accept. A lot of items are free. Some items do require a small charge to dispose of them properly. And next item is the trail paving project here at Community Park. If you've been around this park, you've seen that it's underway. Phases 1 and 2 are expected to be completed in about a week, and then phase 3 will commence after school resumes, because phase 3 is a section of the trails near the playground and water break for amenities. So we're going to wait till kids are back in school before starting that.
Thank you, Pat. Citizens comment? Kevin Cakolli. Cakolli.
Thank you. I'm here to ask the township for some assistance with the east that it's not been maintained. I have information to share with you that's heard from the sheriff. Sure. Issues we have. I have the same. First page, I live at the estates of Fox County Country Club. That's on page 2. You can see one off the Palms House Road on the left called the St. Andrews section. I go on the Augustus Highway to over here by the tech school behind the Fox Club. On page 3, you have a zoom in of that. And I've identified with dotted lines at the top center and a small little parcel of land and a straight line indicating signage to that community that was established by Toll Brothers back in 2000 when I first moved in. I've lived there since that time for 25 years, and no one has maintained the property, that little section. My understanding, when I bought the house, is any common land not owned by a homeowner is the responsibility of the golf course. So I approached them would be like retention basins and things like that. They have maintained that. I've approached them why they are not maintaining that little section at the top as I diagrammed, which I have no specific information showing the size and dimensions. I was told by the superintendent that it's not their responsibility. It's Toll Brothers due to an easement agreement back around the 2000 time period between township, the course at that time, and Toll Brothers. I've lived there 25 years, never once saw anyone maintain relating, I suppose, to the township who owns this and requesting two items, one for the immediate resolution of that area to a proper state, and then the long-term maintenance of it thereafter. Questions? I have no proof of a parcel of land through an easement, only by word of mouth of the golf course. But then again, I would not be privy to that information without further research.
Sure, so we can look up the record plan, that was the land development plan that was recorded and executed when your neighborhood was built and the other side of the neighborhood as well. That'll show every parcel, it'll show every easement on the plan. So if there is an easement, we'll find it. And if the easement transfers ownership, then great, we can figure out who the responsible party is. But if it's no easement and it's just a property with a ownership of just some person, then the property is theirs to maintain.
Agreed, but no one has been. Yeah, pictures in the back, the two pictures I took, the very last one is as of this morning. The one prior to that was probably 3 or 4 months ago. So by courtesy, I suppose, the golf course will go by and do a small, addressing of it on a maybe twice a month basis as they maintain their area that is known to them.
I was gonna ask you who cuts the grass.
That are just doing that as courtesy. But you can see those weeds, dead bushes and so forth. There's a light, which is, I think, part of the easement that, Toll Brothers requested they can have some electricity and put a light shining on the stone concrete fixture to announce, to the public and so forth. That light has gone out twice. One of the neighbors went out there and replaced it, and seemed like for it being handy and so forth. It is not our responsibility as homeowners. We have no responsibility through a homeowners association, which there isn't one. Probably should have been, but that's hindsight. So I'm requesting the township to get involved at some point. I have no option. I contacted the county. They said we either contact the township. This is a local, situation and so forth. Then reach out to the Toll Brothers. I've heard nothing. And I've been here for 25 years, seeing no one maintain it other than ourselves.
All right.
It's enough is enough.
Could you just give me your phone number so we can contact you?
215-915-3073.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Very much. Thank you.
We can keep all these. Okay. Next on our comment list is Brittany Costa.
Hello, I'm here tonight, for two things. First one, I'm here to support, the renewal of the memorandum of understanding for the Bucks County Human Services Warwick Township Co-Responder Program. I know that's coming up with the solicitor later. I do want to thank our supervisors and the township solicitor for putting this on the agenda tonight. The program is something that works, and I don't say that lightly. You know how much of a critic I am of everything. I would like to eventually see this program expanded, but again, baby steps. As like township grows and everything, there's always going to be an increase in need and everything. So that was the first thing. The second one is I am a taxpayer. I'm not happy when I see tax dollars wasted. I'm referring to classes that Supervisor Tabor and Supervisor Riata were signed up for and then unable to attend. It was pretty expensive, and the fact that 2 grown adults needed an escort is kind of insulting to their level of intelligence and maturity. Because I know Mr. Riata and Ms. Tabor are very well-behaved adults. I don't think they need an escort, so I don't think we should have been even offering to pay for someone to go out with them. And the fact that if there was the need for the escort, they didn't need 3 hotel rooms. There's 2 females they could have shared. So that is part of what I was upset about, is the amount of money that was wasted for that because of poor planning on everyone's part. I do want to bring up though that Supervisor Riata has been in office for approximately 18 months, I want to say, off the top of my head. And Supervisor Tabor has been in for about 6 months now. and neither of them have attended the supervisor training classes offered by the state. So it's nice to see that there was the effort made, but it would be nice to see it actually followed through.
Thank you. Kyle?
So, Ms. Cozen, I saw the post. While I know that you did a right to know request and received the records, what you don't see is that we were never charged. So
You
that's
were.
not a record.
The $150 was a charge.
$50 was non-refundable,
You spoke. Let me respond.
but don't lie.
I'm not. Let me respond. It's $1,500 to $2,500 for the lodging was never charged. So there's no record of a refund because it was never charged. There's no record of it existing, again, because it was never charged. I'm not just the township manager, I'm the town.
Actually owns a 10-acre property here in the northwest corner off the property, but his property is separated from these two tracts by a paper lane that goes back to county road. That's in the back. That parallels the back of all the properties. The whole purpose of this subdivision is that Larry is anticipating someday and has aspirations to redivide the larger lot 1, so that the agricultural land in the back and the stream are eventually part of his property. So this is one step further in making that aspiration come true. I'll approach again. The original boundary between these two lots is basically centrally, and the lot line being eradicated has the eradication marks on them, resulting in a 2.8 acre lot. Lot 2 being reduced to a 2.8 acre lot, and then lot 1 being increased to a 19.2 acre lot. The major features on the site. As you can see, there's an unnamed stream tributary to the property that is subject to zoning riparian corridor overlay. It's a fairly large swath through the property. Both properties contain single-family homes, wells, septic systems. Because these two lots were greater than 10 acres, they were originally part of the rural residency exemption for DEP from sewage plan. Because the lots are now being re-subdivided under DEP rules and regulations, which are promulgated under the Bucks County Department of Health rules and regulations. For this subdivision to go through, Larry is required to have new systems tested and installed to replace the systems that were installed without a permit, because under the rural residency exemption, greater than 10 acres, no permits were required. As a result of that, the two new systems, which are now currently in the process with the county, have been moved from the rear of the homes to the front of the properties. The reason for this is because the zoning ordinance has a very hard restriction that for the riparian corridor, septic systems have to be more than 300 feet from the stream. So that's the reason for the very drastic shift from the existing systems, which have to be abandoned under rule, and the new locations, which are beyond 300 feet of the stream. There's an afterthought that Larry and I came across last week that we want to present. I don't know whether the board will entertain it or not. If not, we would proceed ahead with the plan as is. But if you look at the way this was originally divided, the rear boundary for lot 2 is kind of jagged. The reason why it was designed like that originally is we had a septic system designed back there that we were designing this boundary around. When it came to light that they had to be up front, 300 feet away, and then when we also did the overlay for each riparian corridor, the septic system as required was moved. However, the afterthought that we had is in order to have this portion of the riparian corridor unimpeded on lot 2, we were looking at doing is basically just straightening this line out so that this portion of the riparian corridor is completely on the larger lot, so that there's no encumbrances, environmental encumbrances on this lot being created. In doing so, both lots would still remain the same because with the adjustment still ends up with the lot being still 2.8 acres, basically exactly. I have a sketch here showing that. I don't know whether that's significant enough to warrant having to go back through the process. We would hope that because we still have 2 lots, the lot areas don't change. We're actually cleaning something up that we kind of looked at back. Yeah, this is kind of something that we should try to clean up. And present it to the board tonight to see if that could be incorporated as part of the decision. If not, then we'll just proceed ahead with it. Prepare the board here. See that the great difference. Just be the boundary. You can see it's clean. We don't have any of these features on this lot to be created. And the lots are exactly the same side of the adjustment. First.
I do have some questions. So back to the septic, so
Yes.
aside from that question, you're in the process now of getting the septic systems approved,
Yes.
so they would be the new drip.
Drip irrigation, correct.
Another question about the Act 319. So is this compliant with this, or now that they're changing the lot size? Lot size for both are under.
Yeah.
They're not both over.
I would have to defer anything on that Act 319 letter as far as his investigation.
My discussion with the account demonstrates that.
Right.
Top line, I would have to pay the arrears on that, would lose that. And then I would refile for the number one because it's of size.
Right.
To be Act 319. So most of the property will be Act 319 again after I pay the arrears to separate out the first.
Okay, so that rollback tax thing, you're handling that.
I'm gonna handle out the.
Also, there was, I guess, in terms of conditions here, there was a comment made from the planning commission for the future development. So that's something that you don't have plans for either last week.
No, there actually it came up as far as, if there would be any objection to further deed restriction. My one way of framing the planning commission is if you look at this property as it's structured, number one, the zoning has a requirement, you can't be septic system at 300 feet. So that 300 feet, it's not on there, but if you go 300 feet into that ag land, takes out a significant portion. This area here, this is the 150 feet one. So 300 feet is going to be back up in there. So right off the bat, for a significant amount of land, they can't for septic system on. Two, because of the way that stream bisects the property, and you get back there, you have to do a significant stream crossing, which requires additional use. We have to public stream, we have major undertaking, any kind of crossing. Also, because of the fact that there's no place really to put a public street through these lots without adversely having to reconfigure the properties. I believe the cost would be insurmountable to make it work, to have any kind of subdivision. Might be 2 lots, 3 lots. But the cost to street crossing, issues approval, only limitation of that septic system, it's kind of self-restricting on its own. The concern of the restriction for further subdivision also our aspirations to eventually combine this with 10 acres. Because when we walked out, that overcome the get across that strip of land.
Some other questions. This is more a question for us. I also read in the documentation that there's an offer at the township to sue right away. So I guess there's no further action for us. There's an offer. Accept.
You would
If we formally accept that.
afterward, there would be a right away drafting. It's the condition.
So compliance.
Yeah, there was actually an offer on the original plan about trying to run this for 20 years. And like that offer is no longer good. So as part of this plan, the offer is being remade.
I understand.
And then on Kyle, on one of the other requests and changing the other line, that's impossible to do, right? Typically, we don't accept things like that.
You could. But I would defer whether that's a good idea to reach out.
I know tonight I am not prepared to weigh in on whether that's feasible.
Okay, so that's okay.
If you need the answer tonight.
Yeah,
We'll proceed with the head of the finance system.
you could ask that we table it, grant us an NPC waiver extension. And then come back with a plan.
What would be the repercussions if we proceed ahead tonight and that I sorry, proceed ahead and but does that start a whole process? Like process as an amendment, and then it could go through.
You could, like, before it was recorded, you could come back with an amended final plan. Could do that.
And then just come right back to the process with that.
Yeah, I think that in that way, in that case, you go back to the planning commission. It's gonna be an amendment to the approval. Back to the planning commission, back here.
Just gave
I would record this plan.
Yeah, well, we have, yes, we have changed, we have a septic system permitted and installed first for the Bucks County. Sign off anything first. So for now.
That's the most reasonable thing to do.
I don't want to speak for Brandy, the Director of Planning and Zoning, but you will, it would be very hard for us to do a review for you to be on the August Planning Commission agenda. And she said, no.
Okay, we'll just do what we have to do.
Okay.
Yeah. I just didn't know what the time was, so that's fine, that's fine.
Any more questions, Rob?
How,
I'll make a motion.
so what are we going with you on that? We are what we are moving forward.
Then we will comply with the staff and engineering.
Okay. So motion to, approve the LE 24-02 on 3 properties LLC, minor type 2 lot subdivision for 2520 and 2550 County.
With conditions that they comply with the CAS letter, the staff letter, and the right of way, value of dedication, offered for dedication.
I'll second that. All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the sign permit for 2249 York Road. This is a sign permit for a kitchen and bath showroom. The applicant's before the Board of Supervisors seeking quarter overlay approval. Again, it's for just the 2 ground signs. Photo of what they're proposing is your right. It's the applicant here. The board may consider moving about the applicant.
It's the, all of the overlay districts that match all of our colors.
Yeah, it's essentially more yeah.
Rob, question?
Based on that.
How it's all the.
Yeah, so you wouldn't see it unless it already was zoning officer for the size and location.
Any other questions, Rob?
Sure, motion to approve the builder sign permit at 2249.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Next is the ordinance amendment 2025-03. It's chapter 159, streets and sidewalks ordinance. This ordinance was reviewed and authorized for advertisement during the June supervisors meeting. The amendment aims to ensure that contractors performing work in township roads are restoring the roads in an acceptable fashion. The amendment provides, but not limited to, restoration details, safety requirements for the street excavations, namely trenching, utility work and patching, as well as updates to the official roadmap, inspection process, and traffic control. There are also stringent requirements for roads that have recently been paved in the last 24 months. The sidewalk section was updated to include maintenance responsibilities for both concrete sidewalks and bituminous trails. The requirement to remove snow and ice from the sidewalks changed from 36 hours to 24 hours. When sidewalks require replacement, the actual construction detail of the specifications were added into this ordinance. It's very relevant as currently even in this neighborhood and potentially in the future, PICO has been updating and upgrading their lines. Many of the lines in Warwick Township are underground. So if they were to run into a situation where they have to trench the road, there's more stringent requirements for how they are restored, especially if it's a new one.
Rob, any questions?
No, I'm in favor of the changes. Make a motion,
Nope, no questions.
motion to, adopt the ordinance 2025-03, chapter 159, streets and sidewalks.
I second it. All in favor?
Next item is resolution 2025-26, set the firefighter coordinator salary range. Since the township began funding with township operational funds, part-time career firefighters this year, we would like to create the add-on position of fire services coordinator. This position would coordinate their work hours, integration with the Warwick Fire Company, human resources, training, and gear fit out. It's an add-on position to a current position. It's not a new employee.
Robin, any questions? Make a motion.
Motion to adopt a resolution 2025-26, set firefighter coordinator salary range.
All right, I second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next is resolution 2025-27 to support House Bill 1152 funding. As recommended by the Bucks County Association of Township Officials, House Bill 1152 would amend the existing insurance laws that require reimbursements for emergency medical services to be paid directly to the EMS providers instead of the patient. So essentially, a portion of a bill that the insurance company is willing to pay, that payment would go directly to, in our case, Central Bucks EMS. And instead, what's happening is, not all the time, but enough that it's an issue, is that partial payment that insurance companies are making is going to the patient. The patient is obligated to pay the difference to Central Bucks EMS, but they're not paying anything. So essentially, they're keeping everything and not remitting payment to Central Bucks EMS. So this is to support a change at the state level so that that direct billing for the ambulance companies. So if this was adopted, we would forward this resolution to our state representative, state senator, and Cakolli.
Robin, any questions?
No questions.
Make a motion.
Motion to adopt resolution 2025-27, support for House Bill 1152 funding.
I second that. All in favor?
Next is the 2025-2026 Bucks County Consortium fuel bid. The Bucks County Consortium is once again administered the annual fuel purchasing bid. The lowest bidder is Pilot Thomas Logistics in the 5,999 or less gallons category for both diesel and gasoline. So I recommend awarding to Pilot Thomas Logistics.
Any questions, Rob?
Yeah.
Make a motion.
Motion to award the 25-26 Bucks County Consortium fuel bid.
I second that. All in favor?
Next item is Treasurer's Report for June. For the month of June, expenditures outpaced revenues by $49,432. Real estate transfers posted $112,520. Building permits posted $14,389. And earned income tax posted $349,689. And local service tax posted $4,170. Fund balances for June are as follows. General fund $16,384,839. Firehouse and equipment $789,354. Road machinery $159,012. Capital projects $654,285. Highway aid fund $469,631. Parks and Recreation $976,528. Parks and Recreation Capital $325,534. Capital Reserve $89,886 for a total of $19,849,069.
Questions, Rob?
None.
Motion, please.
Motion to approve Treasurer's Report June 2025.
Subject to audit.
Subject to vote.
I second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Next is the bill payments for July 7th, totaling $245,151.80, and for July 21st, totaling $774,941.22, subject to audit.
Any questions, Robert? Motion, please.
Motion to approve bill payments for 7/7/2025 and 7/21/2025, subject to audit.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Solicitor Report, Michael.
Thank you. One item, Bucks County Human Services, Warwick Township Co-Responder Program Renewal. This is for your consideration, authorized to execute the memorandum of understanding This is an agreement between and among Warminster Township, Warrington Township, and Warwick Township Police Departments and the County of Bucks Human Services Division for Human Services and Responder Initiative. This is a program that is implemented for 1 year at a time that would end in May 31st, 2026. It's a program to partner to address social services for the needs of those contacting 911. Purpose to reduce the amount of time law enforcement spends responding to matters that are more social service needs than law enforcement. Provide more effective emergency response through clinically informed support. Basically get the people who need social services the right kind of help instead of allowing them to slip deeper into the criminal justice system. It's funded exclusively through the County of Bucks Human Services Division through a grant for this year. If it is proved effective, the police departments would then take on the financial responsibilities for the following year. There is a provision to be able to opt out if you give 90 days notice before the end of the program year. The program involves having a co-responder, social services employee stationed at the police headquarters to be able to respond to these types of calls to de-escalate emotional situations, assess mental health situations, and kind of get things with the right kind of services. They're never involved in anything physical. They're not to be involved in things that are escalating to dangerous criminal levels, but they're for most social service calls. They are granted access to police departments, lieutenants and sergeants, to be able to facilitate communications and collaborate with the police department to effect these services. They have a workstation at the desk, and they're trained and permitted to use the radio communications station. And they go to scenes and we call on the scenes with the police on how to handle the emotional and the mental health issues that are present the police are called to. Do you have any questions? Rob?
Yes, so do we know what the anticipated cost is for annually for this? I know the grant's covering it for the first year, but do we have any indicators, or are there any other counties or townships doing a program that to have a model?
We don't have that information.
So they've been doing this for 2 years. We have been with the county. This is a 1-year renewal.
Oh, okay.
And the county keeps finding funding.
Okay.
But the county can't commit beyond, at this point, beyond a year. But I know in speaking to them that they're continuing to look for funding. So between now and that expiration date in May, Ryan's going to keep looking for grants and funding.
That was my second question. Okay, good.
Should they not find funding, it would be split between Warwick, Warrington, and Warminster. And the number that they gave was, I think it was about 100,000. So, and that was 2 years ago. So if you maybe thought of a number of 120, but again, that's divided in 3.
But each of us have the co-respondent.
Share one.
We share one.
Right.
Okay, so we just each have the workstation for them, and the car is the car.
Yeah, so it's actually Warrington Township had a car.
Okay.
So they gave her a car, and then she goes in between the 2 townships depending on where the need is.
Okay, all right. And so just another informative question is, the co-responders don't go on their own though, right? Or do they sometimes, or is that determined?
They can go on their own, but it has to be a situation that's there's no danger.
Right.
It's a lot file them up on cases.
Okay, I'm just curious about that. And then, so since we're already doing it, then we're the ones defining the metrics for what we consider effective enough to continue, but it sounds like it's working well, that it's able.
Yeah.
Chief is here if he wants to comment on the effectiveness.
It's working very well.
Great.
We're very glad to have her.
Great.
She's very effective.
I've heard nothing about price.
That's good.
Just want to make a motion.
Yes, that's. Motion to approve the MOU for the Human Services Co-Responder Initiative renewal.
All right, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Michelle.
I have one item for you tonight. It's another escrow release for the development at 1549 Stony Road, known as land development number 19-02. This will be escrow release number 7. We are recommending the reduction in their financial security in the amount of $19,800.
Questions, Rob?
No questions.
Questions, motion, please.
Motion to release, land development 19-02, 1549 Stony Road, sure, I don't know.
Escrow release number 7. I second that, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Any old business?
No.
Any new business?
No.
No. Public comment?
I do, actually.
TJ Cruz from San Antonio. I wasn't gonna speak tonight, but I just got a text from one of the residents in Sovereign States. Asked me to say something since I'm leading the petition for my wife. So here I am. We've got a real issue with speeding in our neighborhood. I know you're getting emails because my wife gets CC'd on them. I built an app similar to GOA does for gun legislation, where the residents can send a pre-written email to the township manager about the issues within our neighborhood. So far, I believe 8 for sure have been sent. We have a petition.
2.
Oh, I have CC
One
with
was
8.
from your father, I think.
One was from my father-in-law, one was from my mother-in-law, one was from the unofficial HOA president, one was from Brittany, one was from me. That's 6.
I've received 2.
Oh, I'll print them for you next meeting, so they're not getting big deal. We have a petition with over 88 signatures on change.org, which Mr. Riado, you're on change.org, so you are tagged, and if you log in, you'll be able to see it. It should pop up for you. Because you're elected official, it allows you to see it, so you should be able to see all the signatures on your end. I know you probably will log into it often, so not holding that one against you. Cool little feature change.org does. It verifies the IP addresses and all that to make sure the signatures are valid. So I think of those 88 within the township itself, it's about 33 signatures. So the residents of Sovereign States are very clear. We want speed bumps. We want speed bumps. We don't care about the noise. They don't make that much noise as compared to rumble strips on Stony, which residents do have an issue with. We have maybe 5 trucks that come through there a day. 2 are garbage trucks twice a week. And the rest is UPS, Amazon, and FedEx. We don't get semi trucks coming in through there. We don't get work trucks coming in through there. Once in a while, Sundance comes through with a pickup truck and a hot tub on the back. And Jamison Lawn Care does my neighbor's yard with a truck sometimes. There's not many trucks to cause noise pollution. But what there is people run off doing 65 down Fairway. When I have 2 autistic children, one of the children is hard of hearing up the road from me. The other is special needs as well. Now I do 20 in my neighborhood, right? And I almost hit the special needs kid because he runs out the road. So what's going to stop the 60-year-old kid who drives so fast with his pickup truck and all his weighted stuff from the tech school for welding, almost flipped their car into Mr. Parentes in my father-in-law's yard and was on 2 wheels from running this kid over one day? Our cops can't hide on Fairway. There's nowhere to hide to enforce the speed limits. So the only way you're going to actually do it is to install calming traffic control devices. Now, what most of you don't know on this board is that I've worked construction for a long time. I did highway maintenance for a PennDOT subcontract. I set up job sites on highways and on the turnpike. So I do kind of know a thing about Pub 213. I know the regulations.
And I talked to the people of PennDOT. And because it's a township road, it falls on you as supervisors. So if the residents want it, why can't we have it? We pay taxes, we're asking our board to come forward and do something that we're requesting. Not one person has not asked for these things. Everyone, on the other hand, has. And a couple meetings ago, you had a developer here from Warminster, from the Water Authority, tell you that the neighboring residents of that PFAS thing was great, right? Well, he lied to you because the person don't own the property. They rent. It don't matter to them whether you put a treatment center there because they can just not renew their lease. The landowner's affected, not the resident that lives there currently. They rent. There's no effect on them if that property value decreases because they can just go rent elsewhere. So when all of us property owners come to you and we tell you, we need this, we want this, and this has been something that it's not the first time it's come. God rest his soul, Greg Meister has come to you guys 20 years ago and asked for this stuff. I think he asked again about 10 years ago. So this isn't the first time our neighborhood has asked for this. So what do we have to do? Do we have to build the speed humps ourselves and get fined $20,000 from the township and arrested? Like the resident had to do with the speed hump, the speed rumble strips? Is that what it's gonna take? Or is it gonna take for one of my kids to get hit with a car? Cause I don't want that. My dog's already been hit by a car. We have a husky that escapes once in a while, great dog, awesome, friendly, we all corral for the neighbor. Oh, it's gonna take someone to kill their dog? We have deer that run across the street. Someone's gonna hit a deer and then drive to someone's property. We've already had a crash at that intersection in between the parentheses and my father-in-law's house. When does it stop? When do we get the protection we want as residents? We pay you an absorbent amount of tax dollars between the school and you guys. And the school just raised our taxes again. And I know you guys live here, so you've seen your tax bill already from it. It's BS. But when do we get the relief we're seeking as residents? I mean, not when on this board lives in sovereign states, you don't have to worry about it, but we do. And then, if I throw a tennis ball in the truck, then I'm wrong, right? Tell you to slow down. All of our neighbors yell. We put kids at play signs up. It took me 4 years to get an autism at play sign up. I had to catch the public works person at Wawa, talk to him about it to finally get it up. Because the township would say go to the police would say go to the PennDOT would say go to the township, and it goes in a circle. We have to do better in terms of our road maintenance in general. It's great, we pave the roads, cool. But if someone's driving people off the road on a road that you built too small for a bike trail, and then your excuse is rumble strips or your excuses on fairways, well, we put up a little thing to monitor the speed, and the speed's registering at 38. Well, yeah, because when they see that thing, they start slowing down because they think it goes to the cops and they're going to get a ticket in the minute. That's all it does, it slows them down for a little bit. But it only takes one person doing 60 down Fairway to kill somebody. So can we do something? Do I have to get a referendum for the township and have it on the ballot in November? What's it gonna be?
How are you gonna comment about our latest report?
Sure, but it's a report that I shared with, at least I shared with you, Brittany, the police went out and did another informal speed study. The average speed was between 23 and 24 miles per hour. It's a 25-mile-per-hour road. We looked at the speed last year. The average speed was 25 miles per hour.
It's a giant sign on it that says speed limit. They know it's there and they slow down. You still get one-offs. How many one-offs are at 60 miles an hour?
None.
How many were above 40?
I don't know that.
See? But how many, that's what I would like. How many one-offs were above 35?
Before it's Mr. Coulson, at the hearing, I live in a neighborhood too, very residential, no sidewalks, we have to walk on the street, and many times I can see the speaker with my neighbor. We often talk to the team, control's office, you can't, it's impossible to control human behavior. Even with speed bumps.
Doylestown, I'm Philly,
it's impossible to control human behavior. We'll do our very best. That's all I can say.
So the township's never gonna let the speed humps in. That's what I'm asking, so you're not gonna put. Most of the residents.
David doesn't suggest that it warrants anything.
The residents are requesting it, you pay tax dollars to. We fund you to be a manager salary, that's a treasurer. We literally pay your salary. Which is high for the area. So why can't we get, we're asking for the majority of residents,
Because the David doesn't. support
when a kid gets hit, I'm just letting you know, suing the hell out of the township. And you guys personally. Motion to adjourn.
Next.